17, it says, the 72 returned with joy and said, Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. He replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Now watch this. Satan is arrayed in the heavenly realms. That's his headquarters. Notice the disciples said, we cast out demons. And Jesus said, I know you did, because I saw Satan fall like lightning. You know what Jesus is showing? Is the way you deal with the angels in the heavenlies to cause them to fall down and lose their place in the heavenlies. The way you do it is by casting out demons. You say, well, but Pastor, I thought demons were different than fallen angels. They are, but they're in the same army. So in order to affect the fallen angels, you have to come against their first line of defense. So make no mistake about it, the first line of defense for fallen angels are demons themselves, these disembodied spirits that try to possess people. So what you do is by casting them out, then the fallen angels lose authority in the heavenly realms, and they, in Jesus' words, they fall like lightning from heaven. Now, some people interpret Jesus' words as a reference to Satan's original fall. That may be the case. However, I find it interesting that Jesus made this statement right after the apostles said, we cast out demons. And Jesus said, yes, Satan fell like lightning. He's trying to show that if you want Satan to fall, then you have to hit his demons. So the first way to do spiritual warfare against the fallen angels is by attacking the demons. Sometimes people will ask me this question. Have you ever noticed that there are more demons in certain cities than others? And the answer is absolutely yes. Wherever fallen angels have created an atmosphere, especially, now listen to me, the atmosphere of the occult. That would be witchcraft, sorcery, Ouija boards, horoscopes, New Age teaching. You see, whenever he can get people involved in the spiritual world without endorsement from God, and that's what the occult is, you're trying to tap into miracles and the supernatural without God's endorsement. That's a counterfeit miracle. By the way, you know what makes a counterfeit miracle a counterfeit miracle? Not because it doesn't look like a miracle, but the one who made, for example, the counterfeit 20, it's a counterfeit 20 not because it doesn't look like a real 20, it's counterfeit because the one who made it is not authorized to make it. You see, it could look exactly like the real, but the person's not authorized to make it. So the occult is people trying to tap into miracles through witchcraft, a Ouija board, seances, voodoo dolls, anything that they're trying to tap into power, to get power to do miracles. Well, I've noticed when people tap into that, there's more demon possession. I went to Lagos, Nigeria a few years back, and I was preaching at the start of the meeting, and I gave a call for people who needed healing. This one man came forward, and God touched him. He had this incredible back problem, and he was totally healed. Tears streamed down his face as he was healed by the glory of God. It was wonderful. Well, before the service could end, all of a sudden, demons in that man began to react. And the demon began to scream out of him. And he began to scream and yell and cry out. And the pastor and I began to lay hands on him and drive that demon out. And praise God, after a matter of a few minutes, the man was totally delivered. He was so happy. And this is the story he gave us. He says, when I saw the flyers of Pastor Brown coming, I decided to put a curse on him. I pulled out my voodoo magic, and I began to use this voodoo magic to stop Pastor Brown from preaching the gospel, because I didn't want that message to come into Africa. And he tried to practice voodoo magic on me. He says, and when I came to the service, I was going to disrupt the pastor and stop him from preaching. But all of a sudden, there was a power that came on me, and I couldn't get up from my chair. I couldn't disrupt the service. And when he called people to get healed, I wanted just to fake it, come up and give them problems. But instead, God healed me. And then he says, before the service was ended, the demons in me got mad, and they began to curse. And that's what happened, and he got delivered. Whoa, man, it was some service. Wouldn't you like to have been there? All right, but anyway. Well, my point is this. In Africa, there's a lot of witchcraft and sorcery. So it's not surprising to find there will be more demons at work. And so what the fallen angels do, they create an atmosphere, a culture of sorcery, of witchcraft, of New Age ideas, and they try to create that in order to possess people. Well, how do you defeat those fallen angels? Well, you got to come against those demons that are possessing people. And I'm convinced when that man was delivered, some fallen angels came down out of heaven.